Are you looking to up your rates as a data freelancer? Cool, because by the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly what you need to do in order to double your rates as soon as tomorrow. For the very best data leadership and business building advice, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon in order to be notified when a new video drops each week. Even if you're a seasoned data freelancer, you're going to want to stick around for this video because the tips I'm about to share could change your business. If you're anything like the average data freelancer out there, or even the above average ones, you're probably not charging enough. How do I know? Well, I started freelancing as a data scientist back in 2012, and since then, I have supported over 10% of Fortune 100 companies. Also, since then, back in 2018, I started coaching other data professionals how to build their six-figure data businesses, and 10% of my mentorships clients have landed six-figure contracts within 7 months of signing up for me. So how's that for results? Hi, I'm Lillian Pearson, and I support data professionals to becoming world-class data leaders and entrepreneurs. Now in this video, I'm speaking directly to data analytics consultants, but the advice and methods I'm going to show you work equally as well for any other type of data freelancer. But when we talk about data analytics consulting, I'm of course talking about services that can be marketed and sold under the umbrella of data analytics consulting, BI consulting, data visualization services, business analytics consulting services, Tableau consulting, BI consulting, as well as any variety of Power BI consulting, business intelligence, business analysis. Any of these types of data analysis and analytics services would fall under the umbrella of data analytics consulting. But being the data person that I am, of course, I don't do anything without having first looked at the market research. So what I did was I went ahead over to Upwork and pulled up some other titles of data services that you could be offering on a freelance basis according to just how they're labeling their demand. So over there, they had A/B testing, data mining, data engineering, machine learning. All of this type of work that's offered on a freelance basis also qualifies as data freelancing, and these types of people, these type of freelancers will absolutely get so much out of the next few minutes in this video. In terms of what most data analytics freelancers are doing wrong, that's super simple. They're not charging enough. According to our research over in Upwork, it looks like Western data freelancers, people that are in the United States or Western countries and are uber educated and well-skilled, are charging anywhere from $28 to $250 per hour. But the median rate is $97.50, meaning that most experienced data analytics freelancers are charging less than $100 an hour for their time. But to be real with you, that rate is probably exaggerated because I've spent tens of thousands of dollars hiring people on Upwork, and I know the common thing is that the rate someone puts on their profile is usually always more than the rate they actually charge you when they submit their proposal. So definitely most experienced data analytics freelancers are charging less than $100 an hour. And in terms of experienced non-Western freelancers, so people perhaps in India or Indonesia, the Philippines, according to the same research we did on Upwork in 2021, their rates are anywhere from $5 to $199 per hour. But the median rate was $37.50. This means that even super experienced data freelancers in places like India are charging less than $40 an hour for their time. The two big mistakes that I see data freelancers making are, one, you cannot sell your time in exchange for money in the long term. It's not a scalable business model and it will run you into the ground. But then the second mistake is most freelancers are charging way too little for their work. So now that you know what dollar amount is too little for you to be charging, why don't you tell me in the comments below what is your best guess for what you should be charging? Okay, so let's look at what you actually need to be charging. The easiest rule of thumb on this is that you need to charge 2 times the take-home pay of an equivalent of an employee. So a person who performs that kind of service on an employee basis. And there are 2 main reasons I say that. One is you have to compensate for a huge hit you take on all the collateral benefits you don't get when you're working on a freelance basis. Things like insurance, like paid vacation, like marketing costs and sales costs, and all of these things. There's tons of things that benefits that employees get that you won't get as a contractor, right? So you need to charge that extra. And the second reason that you need to charge at least 2 times what an employee would make is that you cannot scale your business. You can't afford to hire people. You can't afford to get the tools you need in order to optimize the work you're delivering if you are undercharging for your time. So the next thing I want to do is just kind of break down what this would actually look like in terms of Western economies and non-Western economies. So there's 2 categories. Say if you're a Western person, you're in the United States and you're new to data freelancing. So you've got data services, you've got skills, you've taken courses, you've built a portfolio, but maybe you haven't established your credibility online. You don't have those external benchmarks that validate that you can deliver upon your services. You can deliver results. For people in this category, maybe you have a day job and that's where you're doing your services. All of that is fine. I would consider you kind of like a beginner. So you, in Western economies, you need to charge $150 per hour. If you were in a non-Western economy, say like India or Philippines, I would really, really try to push for $100 per hour. Now, you're probably thinking like, well, that's good. That you may be thinking that's going to be hard to sell. But the deal is, stick around because I'm going to tell you how to sell this. You don't actually sell your time on an hourly basis. I'm going to tell you, once you increase your rates, how do you sell them at this price. Now let's look at more experienced data freelancers. So if you're in a Western economy, you've got a portfolio, you've got testimonials, you're of course well-trained, you've got the degrees, the education, you've got some credibility, some outside entities validating that you can deliver results, then you need to charge $300 per hour of unit time you invest in your project. If you're in a non-Western economy, I would really still try and push for that $300 an hour, but just know you're going to really have to work harder on making sure your branding is up to par with Western branding. It meets the expectation of Western clients, that that your testimonials are incredible, that they really demonstrate your ability and commitment to getting results for your clients. And then lastly, I would work hard on getting that authority, building up your authority, because that's going to give you the extra validation you need to really charge what your services are worth. If you're watching this video, then there's a good chance that you're already a data freelancer, and so you may be interested to check out my video on how to go from data freelancer to data entrepreneur almost overnight. I will put a link to that in the description below. All right, now let's talk about how to actually sell services at the rates I just discussed. There's really 2 rules of thumb here. Is 1, you never, ever, ever sell your services on an hourly basis. So you always need to sell either according to a deliverable or a milestone goal. And how you actually sell this is you don't just say, so a normal freelancer will be like, yeah, I'll do this work for you hour by hour, you pay me. That's not what you do. You say, here is the package. Here are the deliverables. You're going to get X, Y, and Z from me. So you don't just get the one deliverable. You need to find ways you can add value, that you can enhance the value that your customer gets from buying your service without taking more of your time. So you've got to start thinking about what are some reusable assets that you can sell along with your service packages, and you can then take your reusable assets and include them in your package for each customer, which then increases the value of the package without actually taking more time from you. So things like this may be like training videos, tutorials, documentation, specifications, templates, dashboards. I mean, there's just, it just depends on what you're selling really. And then what I would say is you want to create one standard offer. So you're a freelancer. I get it that like building out 3 offers is going to be just a lot for you, but create one standard offer, which is like it's almost like a minimum viable service package. So it's almost an MVP, but and tell people, okay, like here is the transformation, here's the results you get, here are all the deliverables, here are the the value adds, all of the extra things you're getting along with the actual deliverable, and this is the price, this is the package price. So you sell your work according to work packages. And then when you come up with how much to sell that package for, you would then of course take into account like, okay, how many hours is it going to take me to deliver, to create this deliverable, to achieve this milestone goal. Take that number of hours, multiply it times your desired hourly rate, and that is the price of your package. In terms of where to sell your packages, I would highly discourage you from going to places like Upwork, just because Upwork and job marketplaces lend themselves to basically competing to the bottom. Because when you sell your services on Upwork, it's kind of like selling widgets. Well, there's, there's like 1,000 different widget providers on Upwork, so people are going to, of course, optimize, and they're going to try and drive your price down. What can I get per unit time, right? So if you can find a way to bring in clients that it's not in that type of environment, you're going to be much, much better off. And I would say, put your package on your website and then maybe have people from social media or where you're meeting people, have them go from a direct message with you over to your website, or even you can just set them up straight on your social media account and just highlight them, make them a highlighted post or a featured post, and then when you're doing your social media marketing, just drive traffic from your profile down to your actual package and pique people's interest, because that is the biggest thing. Like, people need your service. If you're a data service provider, people need you. Oh my gosh, the whole world needs you, but they don't know how to find you. So you have to place yourself in the position to be found, and then show them that they can actually get results, that you have a process, that it's not going to be a shit show in terms of like organizing all, like trying to micromanage you, that you are basically one and done, a turnkey service. And they're going to hire you, believe me, because I hire data people all the time to help me with things I'm building in my own business. Now, if you liked this video on how to double your rates overnight as a data freelancer, then you are going to love my free Data Entrepreneur Toolkit. It is a collection of 32 tools and processes that'll actually grow your data business. So these are the tools that we used in my business to hit the multiple six-figure mark. And it's also the tools that I discovered after 8 years of research and development while building my business. So they are real gems, and the nice thing about them is most of them are free, or they offer a free version. So if you want to check those out, I will leave a link to the toolkit in the description. And other than that, if you like this video, show it some love by giving it a thumbs up, comment below, and tell us a little bit about you and your freelance services, and then be sure to subscribe to my channel so you'll be first to know when the next episode drops.